We're into the final stretch of the regular season coming off the All-Star break. A doubleheader set to go here from Dorn Park. The Bourne Braves and the Wareham Gatemen set up for their fourth and fifth meeting of the regular season. Thanks for joining us. Matt Scalzo alongside Cam Manna. Happy to be with you here on this Monday evening, heading into the night later on. But Cam, I touched on it, into the final push of the regular season. All-Star break this weekend. How important are these final 9 games for all these teams around the Cape making that last-ditched effort to try and sneak in or increase their playoff standings?
It's all up for grabs, and this is kind of what we've been waiting for in this Cape League season. Meaningful baseball, meaning that Matt brought up the final stretch right now. Really anything can happen for these teams. Hyannis is chasing Katuitt right around 2.5, 3 games so far. Bourne 6 back, but Falmouth and them having that little switch round. And, Wareham feels like they're not out of it as well in that final spot, trying to avoid elimination. So this is where things get exciting, but we've talked about it all year. Momentum. And momentum is more important than ever right now in these final 8 games.
And you talk about momentum. These 2 games today, you touch on Bourne and Wareham. Both teams, every meeting's been close. How important specifically for Bourne and for Wareham, these 2 games, they can really jumpstart their final push in the season.
It really can. And after 2 days off, you can almost say that it's a new season entering this final stretch, and Bourne kind of trying to put that loss behind them against Falmouth where, it was their worst loss of the season by 10 runs. But you win 2 today. This could set up yourself for this final, really long week of this season. And Bourne has to go on the road a few times to some East Division teams in Harwich and Chatham. So Bourne today looking for a win, and what 2 games could do, it could give you so much momentum to really a new start. And Bourne last year only lost 1 game after the All-Star break and pushed themselves for that President's Trophy in that top spot.
We'll see what's on tap here as we get ready for our doubleheader. First pitch on the way. Before that, we'll head to Before the Bravos with Ali Navarrete and Mojo Hill.
Welcome on in to another edition of Before the Bravos. I'm Ali Navarrete alongside Mojo Hill. Our first Before the Bravos after the All-Star break, and we've got a doubleheader here today at Dorn Park against the Gatemen. Game that was supposed to happen on July 4th but got rained out, got pushed to today, and Bourne with a real opportunity to here to start to heat up after the All-Star break, Mojo.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough loss to go into the break. Their worst loss of the season in terms of how many runs they gave up and how many they lost by. Falling 13-3 at Falmouth, pretty gloomy way to end it. But I think a couple of days off should really help these guys, and it's a big day because they're 1 game above 500 right now, and at the end of the day things could look a lot different. Worst case scenario, they lose both games and suddenly they're below 500. Best case scenario, they win both games and they're 3 games above 500. So it could be quite a different situation, and when you're playing the worst team in the division, it's a good opportunity to gain some ground, but you got to take advantage of that.
Totally, and you got to take advantage, too, of the fact that both games are at Dorn Park today. That's definitely big for the Bravos. They've really struggled at Spillane Field this season, played there twice, lost by 1 in both of those contests, I believe. And so, they are probably pretty happy that they get to play here today. And Wareham in an interesting situation, playoffs kind of slipping out of reach for them, and they just released their best player and one of their all-stars in Nick McLean. So it's not really the Wareham roster that these guys have seen all season long even.
Yeah, so just all the more reason that you have to take advantage. And, I think going into the stretch, they're going to be playing their main guys even more often. We've started to see Sam Peterson get more and more playing time, and now he's in the leadoff spot, which personally I'm a big fan of. he brings a lot up there, and he's been playing pretty much every day. Bodine's been playing pretty much every day. Bender, of course, since he got here. Vastein's been a mainstay at the top of the lineup. And, yeah, they kind of have the big guys all in here, and they're going to need those guys to perform and stay in the lineup consistently, especially going into the playoffs.
Yeah, in this first game, the only notable presence that we've seen really consistently that I don't see in the lineup is Bryce Eblin.
Right.
Wouldn't be surprised if he gets thrown in there for game 2. We're playing 2 games of 7 innings today, I believe?
Two 7-inning games and potential 8th inning if it's tied after 7.
Which, knowing these two teams, that might happen because it's been very close, as I said. And then on the mound for the first game, we'll see Tristan Smith of Clemson, who's been fantastic all season long, and we'll see Gabe Driscoll of Binghamton starting for the Bravos in the second game. And those are 2 guys that I think Scott Landers really trusts to start on the mound.
Yeah, I've liked the improvement I've seen from Smith. He had a rough first outing, but the last 2 have been really good, and I think he could have gone deeper last time. He only went 4 innings, but that was the game where they blew out Katuitt, so they didn't really need him to stand there and waste a bunch of pitches with them leading by so much. But, yeah, he's shown a lot of improvement. He was really dominant in that weird Hyannis game where they then blew it in the next inning, and it got called early due to fog and the rain delay, that whole weird game. But he was a bright spot in that one, and he had a shaky first inning last time, but really bounced back, and especially once the Braves got the lead for him, he really settled in for the final 3 innings of his outing.
Yeah, and Gabe Driscoll we last saw start against Orleans. He only let up 2 runs. The Braves bats were struggling that day a bit, and I believe they left 11 runners stranded in that game at Eldridge Park. So, unfortunately, offensively, they couldn't quite back him up and help him out with those 2 runs he did give up. But before he was starting, Gabe Driscoll was coming out of the bullpen and doing really great work in relief for the Bravos. I believe through his first 2 or 3 appearances on the season, he didn't give up any runs at all. So I think Scott Landers is excited to see kind of what he can do with starter potential today, as Orleans was a pretty good day for him. And we talked about this on our pregame Tomahawk Talk. A couple of these guys really started to heat up hitting-wise before the All-Star break, and I'm really excited to see if that continues coming into the final stretch of the regular season. One in particular was Kendall Diggs. He had a really great day the last time we were here at Dorn Park.
Yeah, he's been really impressive recently, showing some power too. I feel like he's been hitting the ball hard. He's still trying to cut down on the strikeouts a little bit, which is something he was great at Arkansas. He had a really nice strikeout to walk ratio. The Ks have been a little more up with the wood bat, but I feel like he's really starting to find it, and I think it was only a matter of time. He had shown such a good approach to the plate, even when he wasn't getting hits, still drawing a lot of walks and having a near 500 OBP. So I think it's starting to all kind of click for him, and that's going to be an important bat down the stretch, right in the middle of the lineup, sometimes in the cleanup spot, today in the number 5 hole.
Meanwhile, you've got the All-Stars batting second, third, and fourth, Vastine, Bender, and Bodine. Bender obviously coming off a really great performance in the Cape League All-Star game. He was honored as the West Division MVP. I believe he had 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI. So he told me before the game he had a lot of fun at that one, and I think all the guys who were there felt excited, and obviously Coach Landers leading the ship for them as well, because they are the reigning West Division champions. And I know Coach Landers told me that last season after the All-Star break, the Braves only lost 1 game, and it kind of put them in position to earn that first place seed. Right now, that seems a bit ways away with how well Katuitt and now Hyannis is playing as well. But Bourne and Falmouth really there looking to fight for that 3 and 4 spot. Commodores just 1 point over the Bravos at 17-16-2, Bourne at 17-16-1. But like you said, to open before the Bravos today, a real opportunity to go 3 games above 500 today.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tight race in there, and Bourne's pretty comfortably in a playoff spot. But when you're playing the 5th place team, it's just such a big opportunity to gain some ground. And I feel like the whole Bender winning All-Star Game MVP thing, I feel like that could help. The mood had to have been a little down after that 13-3 loss to Falmouth, but to go out and have some fun in the All-Star game and win the game and win the MVP, that's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see if the Bravos can get 2 wins here today at Dorn Park when we come back. Matt and Cam.
Back at Dorn Park and ready to get underway here between Bourne and Wareham. Matt Scalzo alongside Cam Manna. Thank you to Allie and Mojo with Before the Bravos. We'll hear from them shortly here as we get set to get underway. But Cam, you look at Wareham, they're in the basement right now of the West, but a sweep today, they would sit only 5 points back of Bourne, which is 2.5 games back. Meanwhile, for Katuitt, they've already clinched the top spot, or they've clinched the playoff spot, so they're in no danger right now. But for Wareham, if they want to sneak in, it starts today.
Yeah, a lot can happen today, and you enter this final stretch. As Allie's talked about it, we talked about it on the pregame show. Anything can happen now, and you're playing meaningful baseball entering the playoffs. This is where the teams are going to start to throw their best guys. They're, going to have to play their best kind of baseball because rosters start to also dwindle down after the All-Star break with some guys getting released. We saw with the Gatemen, Nick McLean at Arizona State, one of their best players is gone now. So right now, you can almost say it's a new season in the West Division for a lot of these teams. They're looking to gear up and play their best baseball.
Well, here for Wareham, they will take on the left-hander out of Clemson in Tristan Smith. And here is the lineup that he will face for Wareham. Bobby Bozer leads off playing in center field. Garen Caulfield is at second base batting second. Michael Brooks plays at third, bats third. Garrett Sherritt is the right fielder batting cleanup. Grant Hussey, the first baseman, bats fifth. Yadi Hernandez is the catcher batting sixth. Josh Stevenson batting seventh, playing in left. Corey Morton, the designated hitter, bats eighth. And rounding things out is J.C. Colon, the shortstop, facing the left-hander in Tristan Smith, who has a 1-0 record currently in 4 games, played 3 starts with a 2.76 ERA through 13 innings of works, 18 strikeouts to 4 walks. In his last appearance at Katuitt, picked up the win. Went 4 innings, gave up just 2 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks to 2 walks. Bozer digs in, Smith set to go, and we are underway here from Dorn Park. First pitch coming at 4:03 p.m. It's 80 degrees, mostly cloudy here for game 1 of 2 to open up the final push of the regular season. 1-0, slice the other way, and it's 1-1. Bozer comes in with a 2.02 average, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 26 walks to 34 strikeouts. Was an all-star selection for the Gatemen. 1-1. Cut on and missed on the fastball from Smith. It's 1-2. The 1-2. Fastball just low, and it's 2-2 to Bozer out of South Florida. Two from Smith. Bozer catches a piece, fights it off. We'll go again on another 2-2 count.
And he's been a guy in this lineup for Wareham that's really a utility guy, can play a lot of different spots, has been asked to do so in center field tonight.
Listed as an infielder, but as Cam said, can play pretty much anywhere Wareham needs him to go. The 2-2 outside and high. Full count now to Bozer. Payoff pitch. Bounces in, gets past Bodine, and Bozer will head on down to first with a leadoff walk to begin today's ball game. We'll take a look now at the Bourne defensive alignment. Out in center field is Sam Peterson. He's joined in right by Kendall Diggs and in left by Pete Chufretta. At first is Garrett Michelle. Second has Josh Kuroda-Grauer. Shortstop is Jonathan Vastine, and New Contratis is at the hot corner at third. The battery mate for Smith is Caden Bodine. Brings up Garen Caulfield now, the second baseman, and Bozer takes his lead off first, being held on to by Michelle. Smith will operate from the stretch. First pitch, fastball catches the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Throw over to first. Bozer's back safely.
And you like this defensive alignment for the Bravos, and defensively, this is a really good group. We know that Pete Giuffreda looking to get his bat going in left, but he's very good with the glove.
Here comes an 0-1. High and outside, 1-1.
And with the doubleheader today, a lot of different combos will have to go for both teams on the defensive and lineup as a whole. You wonder if guys like Vastine, who play it every single day, are going to play both games here tonight.
One is upstairs, and it's 2-1 to the All-Star second baseman and Garen Caulfield. He was one of 6 Gatemen that were in Harwich for the All-Star game. And as Cam said, of course, doubleheader, you'll see a different catcher, of course, but depends on what other changes are made. The 2-1 brushes inside. 3-1. 5 other players listed in the bench for Bourne. Bryce Eblin, the notable one that's not in today's lineup. 3-1. Downstairs, and it's another walk dished out by Smith. Puts runners on first and second here in the top of the first with nobody out.
And something we haven't seen from Smith, because you go back to his last few starts, that Hyannis start in the 10th, he didn't walk anybody and only had control trouble in that first inning against Katuitt, but he was able to bear down a guy that usually starts in the strike zone, but very similar to that appearance he had against the Kettleers in that first inning.
Only 4 walks total on the season. 2 walks and a pair of starts so far. Starts off with a strike to Michael Brooks, the third baseman out of Kansas. 150 average for Brooks. A home run and 2 RBIs. One outside, 1-1. Brooks just his 6th game played on the season, all of which he has started. First time he will face Bourne this season. He's 3 for 20 overall through those prior 5 games. Is a man on first and second in Caulfield and Bozer. The 1-1 inside shifts out of the way. It's 2-1. And now Bodine out onto the mound, talking with Smith. This pitcher has missed his spots a little bit so far, lost the count to Bozer.
And for him here, you want to take a little bit maybe off that fastball and just give the Gatemen a chance here to work towards you. Kind of just letting them win the battles here, especially this order that's not been seeing the ball great of late.
2-1. Caught on, missed by Brooks. Smith's now even the count at 2-2. Nobody out still. To follow will be Grant Sherrod. Right fielder out of South Carolina, upstate. Here's the 2-2. Foul tip. Brooks does enough to stay alive. Some fans still trickling in. Small crowd for now. 4 p.m. start time, then the 7 p.m. for game 2. See a good bit of fans up above the Wareham dugout. Smith set from the stretch, looks over at Bozer at second, the 2-2. Brooks pops it up. Foul ground down the right field line. Michelle ranges over, and he's there to make the catch for the first out.
Big out number 1 there for Smith. Had to work back in the count, and the pitches he's missed on have not been way outside of the zone. He's missing by just a few inches in, a few inches out, and got Brooks there with a good pitch that he just really couldn't handle up and outside.
Cam and I always say first out is the biggest out, that we normally say it in the 9th, but in a situation like this in the first inning for Smith, or any pitcher in your first inning of work. You always want to get that first out. That brings up Grant Sherrod. His 8th game on the Cape, 7th start. Out of South Carolina Upstate, a .273 average. Slots him near the top of the Wareham lineup. First pitch to him. Swing and a miss. On the fastball from Smith, it's 0-1. Another righty in this Wareham order. They'll switch it up with the lefty and Grant Hussey, who stands on deck if it gets to him. Josh Grauer shaded towards second base. 0-1. This one's driven the other way towards shallow right field. Charging in his digs, he's underneath it. He'll make the catch for the second out. Holding over at second is Bozer. And just like that, a couple bounce-back fly balls for Tristan Smith.
And it helps there when you start in the strike zone with that first pitch. And then you can work, ahead a little bit. You go to that off-speed pitch, and you jam Sherrod right on the inner half. And really tough here for Smith. He started out once again, 2 runners on, but now a chance to get out of it.
Has to get through Grant Hussey. 231 hitter, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs. That leads this Wareham team. First pitch to Hussey, bounces in, blocked by Bodine. Bozer holds over at second. It's not the most aggressive team for Wareham, a total of 39 stolen bases this season. Meanwhile, you look over at the Bourne Braves, and this season, combined as a team, 87 stolen bases. The 1-0. Hussey flies this out. Straight away, shallow center field. Peterson racing in, and he's able to get underneath it to make the final out. So after a pair of walks, Smith puts down the next 3, 1, 2, 3, as we head to the bottom of the first here from Doran Park. No score so far between Wareham and Bourne. Welcome back to Dorn Park. Reminder that today's broadcast brought to you by Cape Cod Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, a proud sponsor of the Bourne Braves. Cape Cod Orthopedic Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy is the region's largest and most experienced orthopedic group, accepting new patients at our Sandwich and Hyannis clinics. On the mound for Wareham is Aiden Major out of West Virginia. He's 0-1 in 4 starts so far with a 5.51 ERA. 16 and a third innings pitched, 18 strikeouts and 7 walks on his summer. His last start came on the 17th against Chatham. His first pitch to the leadoff man and Sam Peterson misses inside for ball 1. Major went 4 and 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 6 strikeouts to 2 walks. No runs came across for the Anglers. 1-0. Downstairs, 2-0. For Wareham, that was a 6-3 loss, so Major with the no decision. Sam Peterson leads off for the first time this summer. 2-0, he takes low and away, and it's 3-0. The center fielder out of Iowa has started to turn it on as of late. A 271 average, picked up his first home run of the season last week at Katuitt. Has 7 RBIs. He's known for his speed. Takes a strike on a 3-0 count. 12 stolen bases so far this season for him. Faces the righty and Major, the 3-1. Grounded third base side, it bounces foul. And Major's battled back to run the count full. The 3-2. Chopper, third base side. Gloved by the third baseman in Brooks. He'll fire on to first and gets Peterson just by a step for the first out. We'll take a look now at the Wareham defensive alignment. Bobby Bozer is camped out in center field, flanked in right by Grant Sherrod.
Now batting.
And then Josh Stevenson's over and left. From first to third around the infield, it's Grant Hussey, Garen Caulfield, J.C. Colon, and Michael Brooks just made that play over at third. Yadi Hernandez is the catcher for Major in game 1 here. Jonathan Vastine now digs in. We'll take a moment to run you through the rest of the Bourne order when we get a second, as Vastine takes the first pitch strike. To follow Vastine will be Derek Bender, the designated hitter. Then Caden Bodine bats fourth and is the catcher. Kendall Diggs is in right field batting 5th. JKG batting 6th, playing at 2nd. Garrett Michelle's batting 7th, playing at 1st. And then Newt Contratis is at 3rd, batting 8th, and rounding things out, the left fielder and Pete Chufreda. 0-1 down the dirt, 1-1. Vastine so far this season. 313 average, was an all-star starter at shortstop in Harwich. A home run and 16 RBIs for him. Takes the 1-1 low and away, 2-1. Vastine, a slow roller left side. Charging in his Cologne at short. Throws on the run. It's not in time. Vastine was in ahead of the throw, and he's aided by Grant Hussey not making the pick over at first, and Vastine is aboard with an infield single.
From Coastal Carolina, number 44,
And that's that speed for the Bravos lineup, especially towards the top of this order. You get Peterson or Vastine on, and what Bourne loves to do is steal bases, but it also gives them that advantage there. They put a ball in play, a little bit of a slow roller, and Vastine just blazing fast on the first base line.
That brings up All-Star Game MVP Derek Bender. The man on base in Vastine, he takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Bender went 2 for 3 with an RBI in the 7-1 win for the West Division over the East at Harwich. Comes in with a .385 average, 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. 0-1, fouled off down the first base side. He's down a 0-2 count. Vastine over at first. He's 10 for 11 on stolen bases so far this season. Major working from the stretch. He's quick to home, so we'll see how aggressive Bourne is on the base paths. Bender in an 0-2 count. Major set from the stretch. Takes a peek over at Vastine, the 0-2 home. Bender fights it off.
And what Derek Bender does so well is he just battles on a lot of fastballs and great off-speed hitter as well, and Major understands that, trying to go with 2 fastballs in here. to Bender and just got him jammed. Now you wonder if he tries to go to that off speed.
Throw it to first. Vastine back safely. We've seen for Bender that he really loves some nice off-speed pitches. Does a good job, as Cam alluded to, fighting off the fastballs until he gets the pitch he likes to drive. Here goes Vastine on the 0-2. It's low. The throw down from Hernandez is not in time. And Jonathan Vastine picks up his 11th stolen base, moves into scoring position for Bourne with one away here in the bottom of the first.
And there it is. That's what Bourne does so well. Now you get your speedster on, you move him over, and now you give your RBI guys and Bender a chance to drive him in early.
Shift is on to the left side of the infield. The 1-2. Bender drives this one to right field. It will drop in front of the right fielder and Sherrod. Vastine stops over at third as the throw comes in. Nice base hit for Derek Bender. Puts runners on the corners with one away. For his college teammate and fellow All-Star and Caden Bodine.
Now batting.
And I love the hold there as well from John Topoleski. Sherrod, strong arm in right field, and even threw that ball in a little bit off line, but understanding Vastine wasn't going. And knowing who's up next in Bodine, as Matt mentioned, the way that he's been hitting the ball, a chance here to, instead of have Vastine get thrown out and have it 2 outs in the inning, 1 runner on, you give Bodine a big RBI chance with the runners at the corners.
Bodine's been seeing the ball a lot better lately. Takes ball 1 outside. 16 RBIs for the catcher out of Coastal Carolina. Picked up his first home run in the loss at Falmouth. 1-0. Bounces in. Bender over at first. Took a large lead. He retreats back as Hernandez was set to throw. In the All-Star game, Bodine went 1 for 3. A run scored. Vastine over at third, and Bender takes his lead at first. The 2-0. Bodine pops it in the air, deep towards left field. Towards the line is Stevenson. He'll make the catch in fair ground. Vastine will tag. He'll score standing up as the throw comes into second base. Caden Bodine picks up his 17th RBI of the season on a sac fly to drive in Jonathan Vastine. It's 1-0 Bourne.
University of Arkansas, number 8, Kendall Diggs.
And perfect there, a great piece of hitting from Bodine, and he's just such a smart hitter, understanding there that you don't need it all in one swing. Bourne doesn't need a gapper here. You're just looking to strike first and put a ball well deep into the air and bring in Vastine. Nice way to strike first.
Brings up Kendall Diggs with 2 outs. Bender's still over at first. First pitch down the chute, 0-1. To the right fielder out of Arkansas. 267 average, no home runs, 4 RBIs. An on-base percentage of .469 for Diggs. Now, we really saw him turn it on late in the season last week. Bender was dancing around over at first, and Major steps off to send him back. 0-1 count to Diggs, but we started to see him tee up some balls, send them deep in the air. A lot of doubles last week. 0-1. Catches the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Bender over at first, held on to by Hussey. There's a throw over, and backstanding is Derek Bender. The inning continues here for Bourne. Josh Kuroda-Grauer is the next one due up for the Bravos. The 0-2. Above the letters 1 and 2 now to Diggs. Bender takes his lead. Now he's going for second. The 1-2 is low. The throw from Hernandez, not in time once again. Derek Bender with his 16th stolen base. That leads all of the Cape, and he has not been caught stealing once. Second stolen base of the inning for Bourne. He's into scoring position now for Diggs.
And it's not all about speed on these stolen bases. Bender showed there on that jump. He just gets better jumps than anybody. He's coming off the bag and reading the tendencies of Major. Very strong jump there.
Now he goes for third with 2-2 low in the dirt. The throw down from Hernandez, not in time. Able to slide in underneath the tag of Brooks. It looked like Bender was dead in the water over at third, but guess he's slick enough to pick up his 17th stolen base of the season.
Now, a good first steal from Bender. Questionable why he's even going for third there with 2 outs, and digs up at the plate. Never really want to make the last out at third, but as Matt mentioned, if you're Bender, he's so smart with his jumps. That one looked very close, but he slid in there safely. Thankful for Matt and I as well, not just an on-time announcer jinx right there.
3-2 count to the lefty and Diggs. That was a free throw for Hernandez. Umpiring crew that making that call over at third was Mark Piantadosi. He's joined by J.C. Fernandez at first and Jeff Mertzel behind the dish. The 3-2 flown out towards left field, and that will tail out of play. Diggs will go again on a 3-2 count. Bender over at third, 90 feet away for making a 2-0 lead for the Bravos. Righty on lefty here against Diggs. The payoff pitch from Major. Ground ball straight back at him. It pops off his shoulder, picks it up. He'll flip it over to first, and it's in time to get Diggs for the third out. Bourne strikes first on the sac fly from Caden Bodine. Makes it 1-0 as we head into the second. But first, down to the third member of our team on the field. It's over to you, Allie Navarrete.
Thanks, guys. We've got 3 of our Cape Cod League All-Star starters in the lineup today for Bourne. Batting in the 2, 3, and 4 spots are Jonathan Bastine, Derek Bender, and Caden Bodine. An extra special one there, and Derek Bender, he was named the Cape Cod League West Division All-Star MVP on Saturday. Certainly had a great performance at White House Field. Already off to a good start here today at Dorn Park with a hit. He told me his favorite part about the game wasn't the accolades or the baseball, but actually just getting to play with the other West Division players, including the Gatemen. I saw him talking to some of them during their BP, so for sure some friendships formed over at Harwich on Saturday. Back to you guys when we come back.
Now batting, number 24.
Back at Dorn Park, reminder that today's broadcast brought to you by Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves. 6, 7, and 8 do it for Wareham here in the top of the second. Bourne struck first. First pitch swing for Yadi Hernandez. He flies it out to straightaway center field. Peterson takes a few steps towards the right center field gap and will make the catch for the first out. Back-to-back putouts for Sam Peterson. He ended the inning on a pop-out towards center field. Brings up Josh Stevenson, another lefty in this Wareham order, facing the lefty and Tristan Smith, who has now changed his number from 26 to 12. Cam and I talking during the break. Maybe a rip. We're not completely certain. Deals a first pitch strike to Stevenson. Comes in with a .213 average a home run, and 10 RBIs for the left fielder on his way to Ohio State. The 0-1. Touch low from Smith.
And I will say for Smith's jersey now, it looks also a little bit smaller as well, and that could, maybe also be a part of the change.
1-1. Fastball upstairs, 2-1. I can say Brady asked him earlier in the season. He wore 33. Now he wears 7. He came up to the press box trying to find a smaller jersey. Help him out, maybe just a bit too baggy. So this either could work in Smith's favor, remains to be seen. The 2-1 popped up out of play, third base side. It's 2-2.
Sam Peterson wears one of the more bigger jerseys for just his body, and it's a lot more baggy on him. I would assume the sizes go from 1 as the smallest and up that way, but
2-2. Swing and a miss. Stevenson chases the upstairs off speed. There's 2 away in the top of the second. Tristan Smith with his first strikeout of the afternoon.
University of Connecticut, number 53, Corey Morton.
Brings up Corey Morton, the designated hitter out of UConn. He's played in 3 games so far this season. He's 0 for 9. Still looking for his first hit. That's a half-swing bunt that trickles down the third base side, and so 1. Smith dished out a walk to the first 2 hitters today, in Bobby Bozer and Garen Caulfield, but since then he's put the next 5 down. The 0-1. Fastball upstairs, 1-1. Now he's working with the lead as well. Sac fly from Caden Bodine in the bottom of the first. Brought in Jonathan Vastine. A 1-1 to Morton. Breaking ball inside, 2-1.
And Smith looking for that 1-2-3 here and showing that really similar to that Katuitt outing, bearing down after 1 inning of work.
Cut and missed on the 2-1 for Morton. 2-2 with 2 away. Smith looking to bring a 1-2-3 inning, keep the momentum on Bourne's side. Two-two, breaking ball low, full count to Morton. The payoff pitch. Called strike 3 on the inside corner. Fastball froze Morton. Back-to-back punch-outs for Smith. A 1-2-3 top of the second. We head to the bottom half. Bourne looking for more. It's a 1-0 lead over Wareham. Back at Dorn Park. Reminder that this afternoon's broadcast brought to you by Commercial Electrical Solutions, Cape Cod's most valued and professional electrical subcontractor, who has been providing exceptional services to both commercial and residential customers for over 10 years. Do you have an electrical problem? CES has the solution. JKG, Josh Kuroda-Grauer, leads off here to face Aiden Major in the bottom of the second. First pitch fastball down in the dirt. Some chalk pops up on the fastball from Major. It's 1-0. Kuroda-Grauer, an even 200 batting average with 4 RBIs so far this season. His second summer with the Bravos. 1-0 driven and line down the left field line. It is drops foul. Oh, that was inches from being a huge hit to get Josh back on track here this summer.
And he really loves those inside pitches, has such quick hands, can turn on baseballs, and got his pitch there. Inches foul, as Matt said. That one was laser, too. It was just going to skip off the wall.
Josh has entered a little bit of a slump lately, has not had a hit since the 14th of July. 1-1, bounces in towards his shoes, and it's 2-1. Doesn't have a hit in his prior 3 starts, was a pinch hitter at Katuitt, worked a walk and came to score. 2-1, pops it up out of play, and it's 2-2. Went 0 for 4 at Falmouth the day before the All-Star break. 13-3 loss for the Bravos, trying to get back on track here. 2-2 for Major, breaking ball. Kuroda-Grauer lines it, gloved by Cologne, spins, fires to first. Hussey can't make the pick, and Kuroda-Grauer is aboard safely. We'll wait to see how it is ruled.
Now batting, the first baseman.
Another hard hit ball there from Josh. That one just right at Cologne, and Cologne had the right exchange, kind of spiked that ball, wanted to scoop from Hussey, couldn't get it. A play that infield wants to make. Wareham has a home fielding percentage right now at the bottom of the Cape League.
And it will be an error against the Gatemen. First pitch to Garrett Michelle, low in the dirt, blocked by Hernandez. Down and away, 2-0. That error will go against Cologne. Michelle from Virginia Tech now digs in, but before that, in a 2-0 count, there'll be a mound visit for the Gatemen. Majors struggled a little bit here in the second, gave up a run in the first. And now he's fallen behind here to Garrett Michelle. Cam, after that loss at Falmouth, Scott Landers told his team to get away from baseball for a few days and regroup, re-energize, and get ready to get back to work on Monday as you head into that final stretch of the regular season. Bourne right now, it looks, even though it's only an inning and a half, they look a bit more refocused after a long stretch of regular season baseball.
And refreshed as a whole, and that's what we talked about on the post-game Tomahawk Talk after Falmouth, was kind of giving themselves a rest, their bodies, but also their minds, because baseball, a mental kind of tolling sport, and also this long season, you're entering that final stretch, want to be fresh and ready to go, not a lot of off days coming up before the playoffs.
Kuroda-Grauer going on the 2-0, called strike in. The throw from Hernandez won't be in time. Kuroda-Grauer makes it 3 stolen bases for Bourne. He's now 7 for 10 this season.
And now 3 stolen bases off of Major and Hernandez. You wonder what they switch up here. Does Major start to go to that slide step more often? Because right now, Bourne is just running with ease.
.2-0 bounces in, gets away from Hernandez. Kuroda-Grauer stopped for a moment, but now he'll jog on over to third. He's 90 feet away from making it a 2-0 game. And with that stolen base from Kuroda-Grauer, makes it 90 total on the season for the Bravos. Michelle looking to pick up RBI number 15 as the entire Wareham infield comes in a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch, and it's outside to Michelle. He works a walk, puts runners on the corners with nobody out.
And a good start to an inning here, Bourne, especially towards the bottom of the order. A lot of guys that want to get back on track, and New Contradas, one of them who's about to hit here. But what Bourne's been doing so well, you get that leadoff guy on, even one out we saw last thing with Vastine, you move him over, and it just gives Bourne an opportunity to at least get one.
First pitch to Contradas. Cuts and misses on the fastball, 0-1. For Contradas this season, a 143 average. No runs batted in so far. His 9th game played, 7th start for the Braves, 0-1. Snap throw to first, Michelle back safely. Three for 21 for Contradas so far this season. Has scored 6 times, has gotten on base a good amount. Takes the 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1. 4 walks, has been hit by a pitch once. To 6 strikeouts, he's also got speed. 3 for 3 on stolen bases so far this season. Trying to find his groove after a strong freshman season for the Sun Devils of Arizona State. The 1-1, towering pop-up, that'll stay on the infield. Third baseman and Brooks calls off Hernandez, and he'll make the catch down the third base line for the first out.
Tough there for Contradas, looking to just get back on track and just dropping his hands there a little bit. Sets up the Gatemen pretty well here. A chance to get out of this, maybe even unscathed with a double play chance, and that's why, you know, you can see Cologne here and Caulfield just pinching up a little bit for Major.
Have to get through the lefty and Pete Ciuffreda. Cam alluded to the middle infield at double play depth as Ciuffreda takes a first pitch strike from Major. It's 0-1. Ciuffreda's also hit a major slump lately here. Has not had a hit in a game since July 5th. This at Dorn Park against the Gatemen. As the 0-1, low and outside, Major lost his footing on the mound, and it's 1-1.
And during that game on the 6th, Pete also batted first in that lineup, so a lot has changed for Ciuffreda, and he's looking to change more here and kind of get back to his hitting ways, especially timely hitting.
The 1-1, cuts and misses, 1-2. You touched on Ciuffreda batting leadoff the last meeting between these two at Spillane Field. He went 0 for 2, but he worked 4 walks in that game. His on-base percentage following that was up at 483. It has dropped below 400 to 392. And his average heading into that July 4th doubleheader per se was 293, now at an even 200. The 1-2 down in the dirt, 2-2.
And what Ciuffreda does so well, and obviously right now hitting at 200, it's his eye at the plate. He works a lot of pitches. Matt talked about the 4 walks that he was able to put together. He's very selective at the plate. It's a very good eye.
2-2, cuts and misses, jammed inside on the fastball. And a huge first strikeout for Aiden Major, puts 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd. Runners on the corners. And Michelle and Kuroda Grauer, and it's back to the top of the order with Sam Peterson.
And now if you're Bourne, you can't just put a ball in play or just a fly ball to the outfield. Now Peterson needs a base hit.
Infield back to standard depth, the shift on a little bit as he clips the first pitch straight back, 0-1. Caulfield shaded towards second base, and Cologne is splitting the difference between second and third at short. Third baseman and Brooks a couple steps off the line. Pussy holding on to the runner in Michelle. No shift on for the outfield as Bozer is camped out in straightaway center field. The 0-1, Michelle's going. Low and outside, fake throw from Hernandez. Don't want to take any risks with the speedy Kuroda Grauer over at third, and Michelle's in safely with what will be his 3rd stolen base of the season.
And that was planned there for Bourne. They yelled out a little play call, and they wanted to see as Michelle kind of stopped a little bit if they would even make that throw.
1-1 breaking ball. Loops back into the outside corner, 1-2 to Peterson. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to the third baseman, and Brooks his first time up.
5 stolen bases as well so far for Bourne just in the second inning.
One, two. Fights off the breaking ball. Count stays where it is at 1-2. You're all right on stolen bases. I had my count wrong. I forgot Derek Bender stole 2 in his trip around.
Very close call at third, though. Very close.
1-2 count. Caulfield shifts back to the standard second baseman position as Peterson once again spoils a 1-2. One-two count, 2 away. Bourne with a 1-0 lead. In Bodine, the sac fly. RBI that drove in Jonathan Vastine in the first. That's the only run on the board here. Grota Grauer's over at third, and you can see Garrett Michelle off in the distance at second. The 1-2 to Peterson once again. And wouldn't you know it, it's another foul ball from Peterson staying alive here in a 1-2 count.
Bourne's done a lot better at that in their last few games. Even that loss against Falmouth, a lot of the times Bourne, when they play their best baseball, they just work counts, foul off pitches, and make the pitcher just throw extra.
Another 1-2. Peterson sharply hit ground ball. This one will dribble foul. Seven pitches so far between Peterson and Major in this at-bat. A lot of foul balls in consecutive fashion for Peterson. The 1-2. Called strike 3 at the knees. He's frozen on pitch number 8. And Bourne strands a pair in the bottom of the second. We'll head to the third. It's a 1-0 Bourne lead over Wareham. Back at Doran Park, and a little switch up here in the booth. Instead of Cam Manna, it's Allie Navarrete here with me on this game 1 of the doubleheader. Allie, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. I love this view at Doran Park. Only usually get to see it before the Bravos, so this is a nice change during the game here.
Well, we're happy to have you here. A little doubleheader fun as Tristan Smith deals a first pitch strike to J.C. Cologne. You told me during the break you know why Tristan switched numbers.
Yes, I do. Insider information from the sideline reporter, his jersey was too big. He had it tied with a hair tie, to quote Derek Bender, kind of like a middle school girl does at a rec basketball game. I definitely did that in middle school basketball. So that's why he's got a new number. Not sure if it'll be a permanent change, but he's rocking number 12. I don't even know if we've had a number 12 this season. If we did, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't remember anyone off the top of my head.
So that's the story there.
You know, that was my guess, was the jersey was too big as he sails the 0-2 well high. A little smile from Tristan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think all these uniforms fit that well. The other day, Bryce Eblin always has his pants pulled over his heels on his cleats, and I asked him why, thinking maybe there'd be a story there. No, his pants are just too big.
1-2. Drop third. Bodine fires down to first. It hits Cologne.
Some commotion there.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
Tristan's been fantastic in his last 2 starts at Hyannis. I'm sure you guys talked about that crazy game, the fog out. We've mentioned it a lot.
Number 6, Bobby
Katuitt as well.
Bozer.
He really rebounded after the Cavaliers struck first, had a very successful day. Obviously easy to do so when your team goes out on offense and does what they did in the second and the third. So hopefully looking to have another good start here today.
We had not mentioned the fog out yet, but we did talk about Katuitt.
That's on the bingo board for today's broadcast now. I just checked it off.
Swing and a miss from Bozer on his first pitch. He walked his last time up. What's like the energy like down in the dugout so far today?
I would say it's been pretty good. I think the guys are rejuvenated after the break for the All-Star game. I think they were excited to have some time off, and even the guys who didn't get the day off on Saturday, I think they had a lot of fun over at White House Field and still got the off day yesterday. Not all teams were that lucky. Some people had rescheduled games for yesterday, so I think Bourne won the favor of the All-Star weekend.
Throw over to first from Bodine, back safely is Cologne. It was YD and Orleans that made up a game yesterday.
Yeah. I know when this was announced, it was going to be a doubleheader, and we were going to have to. We were still going to have our off day on July 6th. At first, I was like, maybe we'd rather just play, but it turned out to be a beautiful evening and afternoon for baseball, so I feel pretty lucky.
1-1 outside, 2-1. It is a nice day out.
No sun, which is so lucky. It could have been. Starting earlier, we could have been very unlucky.
I can say there was definitely sun earlier in the day with camp going on.
Oh, you were at camp.
I was at camp. I'm helping out third base coach John Topolesky this week. As the 2-1 comes in, Bozer pops it out, play 2-2. Joined with Dalton Pence, Gabe Driscoll, and Ryan Fisher was a surprise appearance this morning. Top texted him late yesterday, telling him to show up.
Fisher is the king of kids camp. Him and Garrett Michelle have that honor, according to Top. He said those are the 2 that the kids love the most and the 2 who are always willing to get there. And I know the other week when our photographer Jamie went to photograph kids camp, it was lots of flicks of Ryan Fisher and the children, I will say.
2-2, swing and a miss from Bozer. Third strikeout for Tristan Smith. There's one gone in the top of the third. I can say camp is, it's fun.
Number 20, Garen Caulfield.
Most kids are good. Everyone has, they're still young, so they sometimes when a thing doesn't go their way, they let out their emotions, but mostly good things from my experience at camp so far. I had someone ask me if I was pitching tonight. They don't know I'm the broadcaster fully yet, as the first pitch comes in as a strike to Garen Caulfield. I also have Matt Chase, baseball ops intern. Allie gets a real kick when Matt and I are talking to one another.
Oh, yes, I definitely do. The Matt and Matt podcast should be a show.
0-1, a snap throw to first, and Michelle missed the tag on Cologne. Maybe that'll be my hit in game 2. Not to spoil the surprise for Cam, but same switch will happen in game 2 here in the booth, but maybe I'll interview Matt. You've interviewed Olson and Top so far.
No, not Olson.
You've
Darren.
Darren, yes.
Ols will probably be next. I'm not sure if he wants to do the interview, but maybe I'll make him.
0-2 misses upstairs, 1-2. Ols, he's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
To say the least, but he's funny when he does speak.
Mm-hmm.
He was running camp last week. Matt was telling me that it was interesting. Throw to first. Cologne's back safely. Allie, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but who is your favorite player to talk to during games?
Oh, that's an easy choice. You're not putting me on the spot at all. It's got to be Garrett Michelle. Any day Garrett has an off day, I will say the interns who stand near the dugout get pretty excited because he will talk to anyone, and he's very entertaining. Actually, the most entertaining day we had with Garrett was the last time we played Wareham. It was at Spillane Field. He was building a pyramid on top of the water cooler with baseballs, and he was very locked in. Took him the whole game to get it perfected. He had to have some support, some materials come support the pyramid. It was like a whole thing, and it was very funny.
1-2 breaking ball just misses to Caulfield. It's 2-2. I can say if Garrett is off for game 2, I will be rather excited to swap places with you. Called strike 3. Caulfield down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Smith. He's up to 4, and there's 2 gone in the third. Have you been able to talk to Tristan Smith a little bit?
I haven't. I think if Hyannis had not gotten fogged out, he definitely would have been our player of the game, and we would have been able to do an interview. But it did get fogged out. And then at Katuitt, he had an amazing day, but the bats were just too good. I had to pick one of the hitters for player of the game, but maybe Tristan will be that today. I would love to talk to him. I think he's had 2 great starts and is due for a player of the game honor, if you will. Such an honor, right?
A huge honor getting to talk with the Allie Navarrete after a game. First pitch misses high to Michael Brooks.
There have been some long at-bats today on both sides, but I think Tristan's done a really good job since that little snafu with Cologne.
Yeah, that was an interesting one with Cologne, Bodine. I think Bodine thought it might have been a foul tip, and he was confused. Can't say it's not the first time I've seen a drop third strikeout person reaches base incident. Happened a little bit last summer, and I looked at my score next to me. I was like, I have no idea
what to call that.
What to write in my book for that.
Oh, I've got Cam's book right now because I'm sitting in his chair, and I didn't really know what to write, so I just described it. So, Cam, when you get back here, it'll be a really good description of what happened between them.
Yeah, it's good that I got play-by-play for this game, and he's got all of game 2. He doesn't have to dig back through. Another throw to first.
That's true. You guys are splitting the games today?
Yes. I believe that's the plan.
It's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, there was some interesting strategies with play-by-play last year on doubleheaders. 2-1. Caught on, missed, 2-2. Of course, I did work in a league where you worked with the other team's broadcaster, and so it was just only fair to kind of find an even split. I think what we did was first 2 innings and last 2 innings for 1, and then other person gets the middle 3.
Mm. And that's what you and Cam do mostly, right?
Yes. Yes. Same format. 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. 5 strikeouts for Tristan Smith. 6 if you include the drop third. He struck out the side even if he had to face another batter there in that top of the third. But we head to the bottom half, and I'll hand play-by-play off to Allie for the next inning and a half here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
welcome back. New voice
Now
on
batting,
play-by-play for the very first time this summer.
Number 2,
Ali Navarrete
Jonathan
alongside Matt Scalzo, Manna on the sideline. We're switching things up here at Doran Park today to get things started here in the bottom of the third. One of the Bourne Braves All-Stars, Jonathan Vastine, due up Derek Bender and Caden Bodine, the other two Cape Cod League All-Star starters for the Bravos. Matt, it has been a while since I've been on baseball play-by-play. I think the last time I did it was in April for a Northwestern versus Rutgers series, and Hugh Pinckney and JKG were in the game, and I didn't even know who they were yet, really. So
Crazy how life works sometimes.
Seriously. 1-1 count here for Vastine.
Didn't Hugh say he recognized your voice from those games?
1-1 swung on and missed. Count in favor of Major now, and yes, he did tell me that, which threw me off a little bit, but I appreciated it. It was really cool. We had 2 women on the call for that one, me and my friend Bria Losick, who's the sideline reporter for Hyannis. So I feel very lucky to be a part of the Northwestern program. Ball count evens 2-2, where we have so many women in sports. And also, I feel lucky that you guys let me come up here today. So.
Oh, of course. You're welcome anytime. I'll gladly give you a couple innings.
2-2, low and in the dirt. Full count for Vastine.
It's game, what, 30, 35?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, I think it's long overdue that you've joined us in the booth.
I know Amanda, the sideline reporter for Wareham, is also on the call right now, so that's pretty cool. 3-2, low and away. That's a walk for Vastine.
There's a good Northwestern showing in the Cape League. Also, YD, your friend Perry.
Yeah, my friend Perry Kitai is one of the play-by-play announcers for YD. She's the only woman who has that gig full-time in the league, so that's really awesome. And then we've got a writer, too, over at Hyannis, Jason Bouet, one of my good friends as well. So 4 Wildcats up here. Derek Bender steps up now. First pitch to him. Trying to pick off Vastine there, unsuccessful. He's back safely. 1-0 count for Bender.
There's a couple Nittany Lions laying around. Destiny Sanchez, sideline reporter at Falmouth.
Major, the 1-0. Strike 1. Yeah, there are a couple. McKenna, your friend who does cameras at Falmouth.
Yes.
Spent a lot of time with her at Falmouth on Friday.
McKenna Wall, great friend. I think we're trying to figure out something to do with Thursday, our off day.
Another throw over to first. Vastine safe again. I think I'm going to the Vineyard.
Oh, very nice.
Excited. Never been there.
It's quite nice out there. I had to go out there a couple times last summer for games.
Bender fouled off toward first base. Count 1 and 2. So true. The Sharks play over there, the NECBL. Do you have to take the ferry?
Yes, we did.
That's a crazy trip for a baseball game, but kind of fun.
Yeah, and then on the way back, the ferry stops because games run late, and so we took a fishing boat back across.
That's cool. 1-2 to Bender. Ball 2.
It's a fun trip. It's interesting, for sure. There was some jokes made as the fishing boat pulled up. They said he parked better than our bus driver.
Major settles on the pitch. Fires the 2-2. Bender grounds it right past the shortstop. Vastine pushing for 2. He'll get to third just safely. And Bender, another base hit. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Runners in the corners for the Bravos.
Yeah, hit and run on for Bourne. Vastine was going for the pitch, and haven't seen a lot of successful hit and runs for Bourne, but they're very successful, and Vastine being extra aggressive on the base paths. You and I talk about it. When you get ready to play Bourne, you know they're going to run as much as they can.
Number 1 dirty jerseys, though, I have 2 in mind. Bryce Edlin and Sam Peterson. And Bryce, I don't even know how it happens. It happens defensively to him, too, because obviously he's in the infield. Sam Peterson is always running. I believe he's second on the team in stolen bases behind Derek Bender, who actually leads the Cape Cod Baseball League right now in that category, as well as batting average. So I'm sure you guys have mentioned that before.
I mentioned the stolen base part. I forgot to mention the batting average.
Yeah, 385 on the season for Bender coming in today. Bodine with a 2-0 count right now.
I mentioned the stolen base bit because you texted me and Cam this morning or yesterday
Yeah.
that Bender led the league.
That was this morning. And I found out that he only stole 2 bases the entire season at Coastal Carolina. Another ball for Bodine. He held back, count 3-0. Which is crazy to think that now he leads the entire Cape League in that category.
Have you had a chance to ask him on the differences?
I did ask him. I think this is just a team that likes to run, and he knows that that's what he's got to do to be in this ball club. Count 3-1 for Bodine. And so he's just been, he thinks, though, he obviously hasn't gotten caught yet, which is also ridiculous. He told me most of it he thinks is just luck, but always appreciate the honest answers from Derek Bender. 3-1 and Bender running. Wareham not even going to try with that one. So now 2 runners in scoring position, and a walk for Bodine will send him and bring up Kendall Diggs. Bases are loaded.
Now batting.
Yeah, Bourne's done a good job staying patient
Number 8, Kendall.
with
Diggs.
runners in scoring position, even at the plate, fouling off a lot of pitches, and now you're in a situation here where it's only 1-0. You'd love to make it more. Bender might have, I don't know if he tweaked something, but something talking to John Topoleski on the third base side.
Yeah, when he came over to second, he looked like he was limping just a little bit. Top going over to check in on him. Looks like he's going to head back. If I had to put money on whether or not he was going to come out, I would have bet that he would go back, and that's what he's doing.
That's how I also would have leaned, and based on Top laughing, heading back to third, I'm guessing he made a joke to him.
Yeah, Top checking back in with field manager Scott Landers, just filling him in on the situation. Bases are loaded for the Bravos. Vastine on third, Bender on second, Bodine on first. No outs for Kendall Diggs. Ball goes by, and Jonathan Vastine makes it home with ease. 2-0 Bravos. Both runners will advance. Aiden Major right now just struggling with his command a bit. Bourne tacks another one on.
Yeah, second wild pitch for Major, and he's been a consistent starter for Wareham and has had some good starts, a couple bad eggs as there normally is, and looks like that might be the day for Derek Bender, and it is.
Bender going to come off. They'll put Cam Foster in to run for him. Bender in that DH position, so only going to affect the hitting.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of freedom there if something goes wrong. I understand the concern for Scott Landers there in that situation. Bender's been your top hitter this season, and you don't want to risk it if it's something running-wise. You want to make sure he's okay. And on a doubleheader, it's a long day, and you want to make sure everyone gets their reps in. You're going to see a big lineup change with probably the 5 that were on the bench will be in the play.
Diggs fouls it off towards first. And, yeah, you don't want to take any risks entering the final stretch of the regular season here. And Derek Bender, kind of your go-to guy. Guessing he'll take the rest of the day off. I see him talking to our athletic trainer down in the dugout right now, so hopefully he can get that taken care of. Meanwhile, Cam Foster at third, Caden Bodine still at second. Diggs chops it up into the infield. Cam Foster will make it home safely. Diggs out at first, but now 3-0 Bravos.
Yeah, Kendall's done a lot better as of late over the last week, getting his RBIs up now. He was really before just getting on base a lot with walks, but they're just understanding his job, putting a ball in play on the third base side. And Cam, he is 6'4", but he's got good speed there. Long strides for him helps him out, and he's able to come in and score.
JKG at the plate now for Bourne. Just one out. Major, ball 1.
This is a good spot for Josh here. Has had some struggles lately, but got on with the error, and I think here if he's able to bring in another run to just get his confidence back up. Missed time with that injury that I think Cam and I have touched on, and basically every time he plays and just trying to ramp himself back up to speed here, but since he's come back, he's been a nice addition to have back here for Bourne.
1-0 to Josh. Nearly gets him. 2-0. Again, Major can't really find the zone right now. You mentioned Josh being back with Bourne. Obviously, he was called up here for the playoffs last season, won the championship with them, so he knows what goes into making that happen as we enter the final few weeks. 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah, Derek Bender, after the All-Star game, gave us a nice update that we're in for the long haul, that Bourne's going to go back-to-back, told everyone to stay patient.
3-0 to Josh. Finally a strike. Count 3-1 now. Yeah, he's got faith. I think a lot of these guys feel very close-knit on this team, and the chemistry is certainly there, and that's all you can really ask for at this point. It's just a matter of getting hot in the baseball department. Strike 2, full count for Kuroda Grauer. And I think they have confidence that they have the chemistry side of things.
Yeah, it's a super tight-knit group. They're always joking, laughing with one another.
Full count pitch, low and in the dirt. It's a walk for Josh Kuroda Grauer. Will bring up Garrett Michelle, who walked in his last at-bat.
I know Garrett's on the top of your list, and he is for me, but Josh also another great person to talk to in the dugout.
For sure. Mound meeting for Major. His day might be done. Signaling to the bullpen, I think, are the Gatemen. Not the start Aiden Major wanted. And here comes our new Wareham pitcher. We will take a quick step side during this pitching change. And when we come back, Garrett Michelle at the plate for Bourne.
19, Garrett Michelle.
Welcome back. Now pitching for the Gatemen, Bryson Schaefer out of Coastal Carolina. Again, Garrett Michelle at the plate. Schaefer with just one out to work with. Runners in the corners for the Bravos. JKG running. Hernandez won't even try. So 2 runners in scoring position. Bodine on third, Kuroda Grauer on second.
Yeah, Josh wasting no time, even against the lefty. Picks up his second stolen base of the day.
1-0 in for strike 1. Again, Schaefer out of Coastal Carolina. Couple Coastal kids on the Braves. 1-1 to Michelle. Ball 2, Derek Bender, Caden Bodine, and Henry Weicker just committed to transfer there. So 3 Chanticleers
Yes.
on the Braves roster. 2-1 to Michelle. Another ball. No swing from Garrett. Three one from Schaefer. Swung and fouled off towards first base. Full count now for Michelle. Due up for the Braves here at the bottom of the order, New Contrades, and if we see him, Pete Shafreda. Full count pitch. Michelle grounds it right to first. They'll go for the out at home and get it. So Michelle will reach, but Caden Bodine cannot tack another one on for the Braves. That's out number 2.
Yeah, tough play there for
Now batting, the
Bodine.
third baseman from Arizona State
I
University.
think he was hoping
number
that
3, New
Hussey would
Gonzalez.
just take it to first himself, but seeing Bodine had a little ways to go and Hussey taking advantage of it, trusting his catcher.
Contrades will try to keep the inning alive for the Braves. Fouls it back for strike 1.
Not the first time Bourne has seen Schaefer. He pitched on the 5th. Went 3 innings, and Bourne was able to put up a couple of runs.
Michelle running. He's trapped in the base path between first and second. And an easy tag from Grant Hussey. That'll do it for the Braves, but not before they tack on 2, or the run will count, 3 more runs here in the bottom of the 3rd. 4-0 Bravos. And before we head to break here, we'll send it down to our new sideline reporter, Cam Manna. Cam, what do you got for us?
Matt and Allie, thank you. Nice cool breeze down here on the sideline, a nice cool view that Allie loves to see. But you talk about the Bourne dugout, a lot of burning lumber for them right now. Derek Bender, Caden Bodine both reaching base tonight. But look at how far this offense has come. You go back to the first 2 weeks of the season in Cavi Castor, batting .444 was kind of the leader of that offense, and how far that he's come from being at a D3 school at Salisbury. He'll move his talents to Georgetown in the Big East this upcoming fall, and to see how much has moved on for Castor and how much the Cape has done for him. So big things for number 22. Guys, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
right fielder from the University of South Carolina Upstate.
Welcome back.
Number 4, Grant
Top of the fourth
Gerard.
here. Just 7 innings of baseball today. So we're nearly halfway through this first game of our doubleheader. At the plate for the Gatemen, Grant Sherrod. Sherrod. Sorry. Strike one from Tristan Smith.
All good. Cam and I were having that talk, and then of what it was, and then just went to Jack Hunter, Wareham broadcaster, helped me out.
Guys, I'm new here. You can't blame me.
No, you're good. You're good. It confused me, too, at first.
A 1 popped up foul towards our booth. That'll be strike 2. Hit the roof. I hear that.
Yeah, there's always a little bit of, I don't know if it's fear for me when it goes up towards our roof that it's going to hit that downslope and come down towards me and Cam.
Oh, it would be fear for me for sure. You'll probably see, even if it hits the net, I'll probably flinch. 0-2 high, ball 1. Tristan Smith entering his 4th inning of work. He pitched 4 against Katuitt in his last start. 1-2, low and in the dirt, count even. And Tristan Smith, with a really impressive top of the third, had 4 Ks, which is a pretty rare accomplishment, according to our sources.
Sources being Joey Kurtz.
Joey Kurtz. 2-2 popped up. Bodine and Michelle tracking it. Bodine calls it, and he makes the catch. That's out number 1, thanks to Caden Bodine.
Yeah, that ball went up into play, and there was a big gust of wind, started blowing everything around towards us.
Now batting.
My water bottle fell down.
Some papers everywhere.
Grant Hussey.
And definitely threw off Garrett and Caden going to track that ball down, but Caden with a nice catch.
Good communication there from the Bravos. Grant Hussey, the first baseman, at the plate now for Wareham, one of their all-stars. Tristan Smith gets started with a strike. Smith fires the 0-1 high, ball 1. Lots of good communication today from the defense. There was that moment out in about, I think it was like left center field earlier, where they communicated really well and were able to get an out for Smith, who had a bit of a longer first inning, but has since been dealing.
Yeah, he's really settled in nicely, and I know the play you're referring to with the pop out to Sam Peterson.
Yeah, it was Peterson. Thank you.
I gotcha. Vasti and Crow to Ground were going back, and Sam called everyone off.
2-1 to Hussey. Popped up foul again, back toward us. Count evens 2-2. Already said it once since I've been on the broadcast, but really long ABs from both teams today. Grant Hussey exercising some of that patience right now. 2-2. Fouled off again.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of long at-bats, as Allie said, and you know, you see it the more as the season goes on. A lot of hitters start to sort of find their groove a little bit more, settle into dealing with wood bats, and Sam was a player, and Sam Peterson had a really long at-bat in the second inning.
Hussey fouled back again. Yes, he did. I was waiting to come out here as I'd come up from the sideline, and the AB was very long.
Yeah, I think he had 4 foul balls in a row.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Smith still a 2-2 count to Grant Hussey. Fires full count now. Due up for the Gatemen, Yadi Hernandez, the catcher. Josh Stevenson, left fielder. Full count pitch. Inside, down looking goes Grant Hussey. Another strikeout for Tristan Smith.
Yeah, and after his 4 strikeout inning, that's technically his 7th.
Now batting, the catcher from Seton
So
Hall
he's
University,
really settled in. He had
24,
8 against
Yadi
Hyannis. That
Hernandez.
was through 5 innings. He's trying to even that just through 4. He's been a great addition here for Bourne that came in late with Clemson's run in the postseason.
Starts off with a strike here to Yadi Hernandez. Yeah, Bourne brought in a lot of their pitchers later, and it's definitely worked. These guys, I think, are here for the long haul, want to pitch through playoffs. And if you look at who's going to be starting for Bourne in potential playoff matchups, I think Tristan Smith is definitely one of the guys that you look at.
Oh, for sure. He's probably up towards the top in Scott Lander's book on who he trusts most. Him, Bryce Cunningham, Ryan Fisher especially, and for his second summer for both those guys too.
Smith, the 1-1, ball 2. I think another guy who has potential to get a nod for a starting moment in playoffs would be Gabe Driscoll. I'll be curious to see how he fares. He'll be the starting guy for the Braves in the second game today. 2-1, ball 3.
Yeah, and I had a chance to talk to Gabe a little bit at camp. You don't really get to see a lot of the guys sort of just outside of their usual habits ahead of a game. But for him, I know one of his friends back at school.
3-1, out to right center. Diggs and Peterson there. Diggs will make the diving catch for it, and that's out number 3. Thanks to Kendall Diggs. What can't that guy do in the outfield, Matt?
I don't think there is something he can't do. I mean, he's just that might be another SC top 10 moment there for Kendall Diggs. We already seen it once. Might be on its way again.
Kendall Diggs gets the 3rd out. The Braves will be back at the plate here for the bottom of the 4th when we return. Time for the bottom of the 4th. Bryson Schaefer back out there on the mound. Came in during that last inning to replace Aiden Major, the starting pitcher for the Gatemen. Leading off here for Bourne will be New Contradas. Pete Chafreda up after him, and then back to the top of the order with Sam Peterson. First pitch to Contradas. Down the right field line. That'll be a base hit, and he'll push for 2. And make it in safely. An extra base hit for New Contradas to get things started here in the bottom of the 4th.
That's great to see for New, someone who's just trying to find his place, find his rhythm. Here on the Cape,
number 24,
I think he was the latest position player that made it in for Bourne, and for him just trying to find his groove. That's his 4th hit of the summer and first extra base hit.
I was going to ask. I was going to say, forgive me for not knowing. I wasn't sure, but
I wasn't sure off the top of my head. I had to go look down here.
Honesty is the best policy, Matt. Thank you for being honest with us, letting us know. Chafreda grounds that one to second. Easy out at first. Contradas will advance to third and bring up the leadoff hitter in Sam Peterson.
And for Pete, while he's still trying to get out of his slump, and it's been a long one for him, and he He always comes in ready to work. Always a nice person to talk to as well. Even when things aren't going well, he's always willing to talk. But for him just to do his job there and get New a step closer.
Swing and a miss to start for Sam Peterson. Yeah, Chafredo, one of those day one guys. There aren't that many left, honestly. A lot of guys who came pretty early and have stayed, but Pete literally has been here since the get-go. And like you said, definitely one of the chattier guys, always willing to talk. And I think he's, no matter what, excited to play at Rutgers this fall. It's where he's from. Foul tip there from Peterson. 0-2 count now.
Yeah, Pete along with the other two Rutgers guys and Josh and Hugh also been here from the jump. Garrett and Cam.
0-2 count, low for ball one. It is crazy how much things have changed since the beginning of the summer. And, you know, we've had some pitchers coming and going lately, but the position players have really been, I feel, all here for about 3 to 4 weeks now. Really gotten to know them, and this order has really solidified itself. Down swinging goes Peterson. Jonathan Bastine coming up to the plate. 2 outs. New Contrada is still on third.
Now batting, the shortstop from Vanderbilt University, number 2, Jonathan Bastine.
Yeah, it is crazy when you think about it all and how Scott kept telling us to wait till it got towards the end of June. And now we're here end of July and just, seeing how things have changed, especially.
Bastine swings on the first pitch. It'll be an easy catch out there in center field for Bobby Bozer. And 3 outs, efficient inning from Bryson Schaefer. And that'll be all from me until game 2 when I come up here and I'm with Cam, and Matt will be on the sideline. But Matt, thank you so much for letting me crash the booth for a couple innings here.
Oh, of course. You're welcome anytime, Allie. I had a blast up here with you.
All right, we will take a
Cape
quick
Cod
step
5 is
side.
proudly alongside
Cam will be
supporting
back.
the Cape
I'll be
Cod
back on the
Baseball League
sideline, and you will see me back up here in game 2.
A treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern.
Back at Dorn
Now
Park
batting,
here.
the
Thank
left
you
fielder
to
from
Ali
Ohio
Navarrete
State
for
University,
joining me in the
number
booth, and now I'm
16,
joined by my
Stevenson.
normal partner in Cam Manna, Matt Scalzo, here as we head into the 5th inning for Tristan Smith, and he's been exceptional on the mound so far today. Heading into his 5th inning of work, has 7 strikeouts, including 4 in 1 inning. Deals a first pitch ball to Josh Stevenson. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
And I want to thank Allie for doing my book and doing it the way that I kind of do it, too.
Yeah, she was asking me.
Yep.
Wanted to make sure she kept the
Consistency.
yes. 1-0, jammed inside, goes off the bat of Peterson, and he heads straight to the dugout as it hit his hand, or not sure where it hit.
By his reaction, it maybe got both because it came off the bat or his hand a decent distance towards the third base side, but the way he's just holding his hand, he sprinted right towards the dugout.
Yeah, he was keeping his left hand holding that wrist to finger area up in the air.
The way that he's, right now, obviously you can see on the screen talking to Wareham's trainer, definitely it must have got some part of the hand. You wonder if it was
all hand
or a little bit of both, but it won't really matter if it's both depending on what it hit first.
I mean, he did swing as well.
Yeah.
Depends on how the umpires see it in that position. I mean, we're seeing it all today. Drop third strike, runner reaches base, and now here for Stevenson. Firstly, you got to hope he's okay, and he appears to be all right. Trainer's not looking at his hand, and
it's tough to overturn now on what they can exactly call because they're ruling it fair at first, and they need enough for the umpires to at least talk about what the call's actually going to be. But Matt said he swang through, so that's at least we know here that's the main part of it.
And Stevenson is a lefty. I had to make sure I went into my own stance as a righty to make sure which hand was where, and it is your left hand for a lefty would be your top hand. So, that puts it more towards the part of the middle part of the bat. And now all three umpires in Mertzel, Fernandez, and Piantadosi are going to converge and talk here in front of home plate.
I will say, too, since we have the time to talk about it, I had a great conversation down there with Hazel, the camera operator right now for us on the third base side, and just looking at the camera equipment and seeing how hard our camera operators work. It was cool to be down there and to be able to kind of focus on that for a good half inning. Very good production team we have to put this broadcast together.
Yeah, Hazel and Jeremy do amazing work every day. They come in and get us all the shots.
He said that pregame, Eblin and Pinckney were doing the shots when we were doing our open before the Bravos, and he said he was teaching Eblin and Pinckney to not be as jerky with the camera and be more smooth flowing with the shots they use.
I might have to try and see if I can use the camera for a little bit there with Hazel for game 2.
Now batting, the designated hitter from the University of Connecticut, number 53, Corey Morton.
The 1-1 from Smith, or the 1-0. Well, I am all out of sorts here. It is an out for Stevenson, and now it is Corey Morton that comes up to bat, and the 0-1 to him is fouled off, and now it's 0-2. So that was a 5-3 put out for Stevenson, and now Corey Morton, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, digs in here. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8 for Tristan Smith, and there's 2 away here in the top of the 5th. He evens his total that he had at Hyannis, where he went 5 innings with 8
now
Ks.
The shortstop from the University of Missouri, Columbia, number 32, J.C.
That's his season high. Looking to get through J.C. Cologne to make a new season high. Brady Afton up in the Bourne bullpen. First pitch spikes in front of home plate, and it's 1-0. You wonder here for Bourne how long they'll let Tristan go. Currently sits at 80 pitches. A 1-0. Upstairs 2-0. Cologne was a part of that 4 strikeout inning. He was the odd man out as he had the drop third strike reached base as the throwdown from Tristan hit Cologne on the back. 2-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball, 2-1.
And interesting how much changes here in a 7-inning game with the doubleheader, and that kind of maybe gives you more confidence to let Smith go as much as he can here.
The 2-1. Just a touch low, and it's 3-1. All arms are available for Bourne. Or at least most of them are. I believe 7 are listed on the lineup sheet. 3-1. Called strike on the inside corner. Cologne thought it was ball 4 and tossed his bat towards the dugout, and now he has to make the walk of shame to pick it up and head back towards the righty's batter's box. Here's the payoff pitch. That bounces in, and Cologne with a bit more extra emphasis tosses his bat and throws his shin guard towards the Wareham dugout, heads on down to first on a 2-out walk.
Now batting, the center fielder from the University
First
of South
walk
Florida,
given out
number 6, Bobby Bozer.
by Smith since the first inning. Wareham still in search of their first hit.
And Smith's been great too, and Matt talked about it. 4 batters in the 3rd inning, but he struck out all of them. That's unbelievable.
Not very often you see that, as the first pitch misses upstairs to the top of the order with Bobby Bozer.
And that 4th strikeout as well in that inning, I was just looking through Twitter, and we talk about Joey Kurtz a lot. This graphic that he made is
that's unreal.
Unbelievable.
A little conversation here at the mound now as Smith has lost a little bit of his zone. Scott Landers comes out. Brief conversation. Just looking to probably get Smith through this last batter, as Brady Afton is up into full movement in the Bourne bullpen down the left field line, excuse me.
And Bourne ideally would like to only use probably 2 pitchers in this first game, and that's what they're set up really to do right now. If Smith can battle through, and it's a good start for Afton out of the bullpen.
Throw to first, Cologne back safely. Looking at the lineup card, it's basically all arms are ready, as the 1-0 is popped up. Foul out of play, it's 1-1, except for Henry Weicker and Ryan Fisher, along with Dalton Pence, another starter. McShane and Cunningham pitched at the All-Star game, so they'll get another extra day of rest. 1-1, Bozer drives into the air, left center field. Long run back for Ciuffreda. He's underneath it, and he'll make the catch for the 3rd out. 5 scoreless innings of no-hit baseball for Tristan Smith. It's 4-0 Bourne as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Dorn Park. Reminder that this afternoon's broadcast brought to you by Fairway Financial, a proud local sponsor for your Bourne Braves. If you want to hit a home run with your retirement income plan, visit fairwayfinancial.net and ask for owner and host family sponsor Steve Anzoni, Cape Cod's retirement income specialist. That's fairwayfinancial.net. Cam Foster digs in for his first at-bat. Was a pinch runner for Derek Bender, who came up limping after a stolen base back in the third inning. Pops the 1-0 out of play, and it's 1-1. Foster out of Liberty comes in with a .273 average. No home runs, 10 RBIs on his summer. His 21st appearance this year for the Bravos. 1-1. Fastball down the chute from Bryson Schaefer out of Coastal Carolina. And it's 1-2. Bender went 2 for 2 with 3 stolen bases before leaving the game. 1-2. Foster went around on his check swing. That's a strikeout for Bryson Schaefer, his second, and there's one away in the bottom of the fifth.
And being on the sideline when Bender kind of went down, looked like he was just nursing that left leg and stretching out towards the hamstring area. Seemed like he was okay, just walking around the dugout and trying to just stay loose for himself, but no reason to push him too hard here in a doubleheader, especially right now with the 4-0 lead.
First pitch to Caden Bodine misses inside for ball 1. 1-0, Bodine turns, drives this one deep to left field. That will bounce into the bullpen for a ground rule double. Caden Bodine starting to find his groove. Another hard hit ball. That's his first hit of the day. And he stands on second base.
Now batting, the right fielder from the
Fifth
University
hit
of Arkansas,
for the Bravos
number 8,
so far.
Kendall Diggs.
Third double in the summer also for Bodine. Just a very well-hit ball and showing that he can really do it from both sides of the plate. We've talked about just his swing and the potential that he has and how young he is.
First pitch strike to Kendall Diggs. Just finished up his freshman year at Coastal Carolina, was Sun Belt Freshman of the Year. Was a key cog in Coastal's run to host a regional. They eventually lost it to Duke in that regional. One to Diggs. Picked up an RBI his last time up, a ground out. And he takes the 1-1 breaking ball for a strike. It's 1-2. That brought in Cam Foster. Made it 4-0 Bourne. 1-2. Dips low. 1-2. Or made it 3-0 Bourne, excuse me. Two. Chop foul. And it's 3-2. That one goes off the foot of Diggs, and he'll walk around before settling back into the lefty's batter's box. Bodine over at second, taking his lead. Schaefer looking over at him. The 2-2. Slider misses low and away. Full count now to Kendall Diggs. Schaefer teammates with Derek Bender and Caden Bodine out of Coastal Carolina. Comes in with a 6.48 ERA this summer, coming into today. The 3-2, swing and a miss. Gets Diggs to chase. He goes down on strikes for the second out here in the bottom of the fifth.
And for Schaefer, he's just working that off-speed pitch away from the lefties. And
Number
tough when you
13,
start with a righty and
Joshua
major.
Grauer.
For Landers, you set that lineup up, a certain way to face a righty, and Diggs has not done too bad as well against lefties, but that's just a really tough pitch to hit.
Now Josh Grauer digs in Takes a first pitch strike from Schaefer. He's reached base both times today, reached on error and walked. Came in a score back in the third as Garrett Michelle, who's on deck. The 0-1, jammed inside, catches Kuroda Grauer in on the hands, and he'll head on down to first on a hit by pitch. Third time he'll reach base today.
Not the exact afternoon to start that JKG would want, but you look at that first at-bat, it says in E6, had 2 hard hit balls, one was foul, worked a good at-bat in the third, and there, you know, he gets on. He's doing a lot to help Bourne. Has been able to be a part of rallies, scoring in that third inning, so, hey, the hit's not there, but it's been a solid afternoon for JKG.
First pitch, check swing for Michelle. He did not go around. And it's 1-0. Michelle, he's reached base both times. A walk and a fielder's choice for him. 1-0 fastball in the zone, 1-1. He made the ultimate team play that in the third that brought in Josh Kuroda Grauer. He was leading off first, and he got in a rundown purposely to allow JKG to score before getting tagged out in the process, made it 4-0 Bourne. 1-1 comes in for a strike, and it's 1-2. Kuroda Grauer off first. Caden Bodine's off second. Michelle on a 1-2 count. The pitch from Schaefer. Outside. Count evened at 2-2 with 2 away. 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 5th. Two breaking ball low and away. Michelle lays off. Count full to Garrett Michelle here. Michelle working another long at bat here. Payoff from Schaefer. Bounced off a home plate. We'll go again.
A lot of long at bats for these Bourne hitters, and that's the improvement we've seen with Michelle. Trying to work ahead in counts and not giving the pitcher the opportunity just for him to chase.
Schaefer checks over at Bodine. Payoff pitch once again. Runners going. That's in on the hands, and that caught Michelle on the wrist. He was checking his swing. He didn't go around. And he'll head on down to first on another hit by pitch, the second consecutive one. Given out by Schaefer. Loads the bases for new Contrades, who his last time up picked up his hardest hit of the season. Nice double down the right field line. First extra base hit for him. Looking to drive in a couple of runners for his first RBI of the season. Fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. The 0-1. Contrades drives this one to right field. Long run here for Sherrod, and it will drop in front of him. Bodine will score. Kuroda Grauer around third. He'll score standing up. The ball gets away on the throw-in. Michelle digging. He'll score as well. A base is clearing. Single might be with an error in all likelihood for new Contrades. Breaks this one wide open, makes it 7-0 Bourne.
Now batting, the left fielder
And
from
Contrades, a
University,
great piece of
number
hitting.
24.
Working the other way
Contrades.
once again. And just puts that ball down, lets the good things happen. Tough throw in, and John Topoleski, Michelle stepped on third, and then he was like, wow, this ball's past the shortstop in Cologne, and Michelle was cut off guard. He came home.
First pitch. Real close to Chu Freda. He'll move out of the way. It's 1-0. We'll wait to see how that's ruled. Currently, no error put up for Wareham. They had one going into this inning. But go ahead, Cam.
And you wonder, though, if Contrades was coming around that first base bag before that throw came in.
2-0, catches the outside half 2-1.
It seemed close, but tough to rule.
2-1. Swing and a miss from Chufreda, 2-2. Either way, at the very least, he'll get 2 RBIs rewarded to him. 2-2. Chufreda holds off, and the count runs full. That's ruled as a single, and it advances to second on the error. The 3-2 jammed inside, broken bat. Charging in is Caulfield to throw it on to first. It gets away from Hussey, and Chufreda is safe. Not the first time we've seen Grant Hussey have a little trouble over at first.
So that's going to be the second error there against the Gatemen, and a few plays that Hussey wanted to make early on, a few scoops that have came his way, but that one just applied it kind of right at him. And for the Wareham defense, that's been a big concern for them throughout this season. The bats have been there a lot of times. Their defense, though, has harmed their pitchers a lot.
First pitch to Sam Peterson. Low and in, 1-0. Contrades moves over to third. Another error here in this inning. 1-0, high and tight. A little chin music to Peterson. He lays off, and the ball pops out of Hernandez's glove. They'll tell Contrades to hold over at third. Two-0. Called strike on the outside half. Peterson checked his swing. He didn't like the call. Two-one. High and outside. 3-1. Now to Peterson. This is inside. Peterson tosses his bat. He works a 2-out walk, and the bases are loaded for Jonathan Vastine.
And the Gatemen are also begging to just kind of only maybe use 2, maximum 3 pitchers in a doubleheader because you never know what can happen in Game 2, and they looked like they were in a good spot, and what Schaefer did to begin, and his pitch count wasn't rising too high, but now the Gatemen looks like they got a pitcher stretching up in the bullpen.
And think about it. All this damage for Bourne has been done with 2 outs in this inning, as Vastine takes the first pitch ball 1-0. Bodine had the double, so he was on second with 1 out, and then the strikeout from Diggs. But then a hit by pitch, another hit by pitch. The single from Contrades as the 1-0 finds his own 1-1. And another error puts Chufreda on, all of which have been done with 2 outs. Something we haven't really seen from Bourne a whole lot is those 2-out rallies. As the 1-1 comes in, called strike on the outside portion of the plate, 1-2 to Vastine. Vastine's 1 for 2, single walk and a fly out. The 1-2, swing and a miss, down on strikes to end the inning, but Bourne puts up another 3 spot. It's 7-0 Braves as we head into the 6th here from Dorn Park. Welcome back to Dorn Park. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Cape Cod Healthcare, proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. When you need to be seen quickly for a minor illness or injury, Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care offers a convenient and cost-effective treatment option with 6 locations across Cape Cod, from Falmouth to Orleans. Open daily with no appointment needed, and staffed by our board-certified ER providers. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care. Minor emergencies, major attention. New arm in for Bourne. Brady Afton out of the bullpen and into the game here, replacing Tristan Smith, who goes 5 innings of shutout, no-hit baseball. Strikes out 8 and walks just 3. Garen Caulfield to lead off, facing the right-hander out of UConn. And Caulfield quickly ahead 2-0. Afton comes in with a 1.80 ERA, a 2-0 record in 6 appearances. He has a save as well through 10 innings of work. Has given up 2 runs, both of them earned on 10 hits, 11 strikeouts, just 3 walks. The 2-0, Caulfield flies this one in the air, right field. Diggs takes a few steps toward the line, comes in a little bit, and he's able to make the catch for the first out. Kendall Diggs has had a busy day out and right, which included another web gem for him. We might see him on SportsCenter Top 10 another time.
And he just loves those spectacular plays. Really is a read for just what can be on SportsCenter.
Michael Brooks now comes up to bat. First pitch to him. A called strike towards the top of the zone. Brooks disagrees. And for Diggs, you know, it's crazy to think back when we first saw him, he was out in right field. We weren't sure what to expect. Listed in the infielder's position as the 0-1. This is low to Brooks, 1-1. But on Arkansas's website, he's listed as both an infielder and outfielder. We weren't sure how to see him here, and he's been a consistently great option defensively out and right. Also has a great arm as well. We've seen him throw some runners out as the 1-1 zips outside 2-1. There he is out and right.
And his bat, too, also starting to get going, taking better swings, better approaches at the plate. And that's what Bourne expected from what he was able to do for the Razorbacks.
2-1 from Afton. This is inside to Brooks, 3-1. Brooks so far 0 for 2, a pop out and a strikeout. A 3-1, high and tight, and it's a 1-out walk given out by Brady Afton. Puts a runner on first here for Wareham.
Now batting, the right fielder from the
and for Afton, though, the walks have not been a problem. Matt touched on his stat line coming into this game. Has consistently pounded the strike zone. He's been such a reliable force out of the bullpen for Scott Landers and what he can bring to the table in all the pieces he has in that bullpen.
First pitch, swing and a miss from Grant Sherrod. He's 0 for 2. Fly out and a pop out for him. And it's big for Scott Landers and company to find consistency out of the bullpen. Brady being one of those guys, the 0-1 thrown over to first. Got the chance to go back up to Maine where I was last summer, and Brady's brother Bryce is back in Sanford again. I got a chance to talk to him, and he's happy that his brother's settling in well. The 0-1, fastball, swing and a miss from Sherrod. It's 0-2. Two brothers that I was around last summer, and very different in how they are. Bryce, very calm, cool, collected. Brady last year was a bit more outgoing, and both very confident how they do. And 0-2, there's the first strikeout for Brady Afton. 2 away here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting, the first baseman from West Virginia University.
And he's been asked to come into a lot of big spots today, not one of those spots with Bourne on that 7-0 lead, but early on in Afton's stint with the Braves, he was put into some really tough spots and showed his true colors early.
First pitch chopped off home plate by Grant Hussey. Count moves to 0-1. I think most notably for Brady was that game at Brewster, where he goes 3 innings, got the win, struck out 3, only allowed 2 hits, and a 5-4 win for the Bravos over the Whitecaps, their first win against Brewster at Brewster, and then came back and throttled them last week here at Dorn Park. 0-1. There's an off-speed. Fools Hussey, 0-2. The 0-2 bounces in, blocked by Bodine. Brooks will hold over at first, and it's 1-2. Starting to see some more fans trickle in here at Dorn Park. Doubleheader. This is just game 1. Game 2 will follow, both 7 innings. Beautiful night for baseball. It was cloudy early. Now the sun is shining as we move into the evening. The 1-2. Hussey, hard hit line drive. That will sneak into right field for a base hit. Turning around second on his way to third goes Brooks. And a 2-out base hit in the top of the 6th by Grant Hussey gives the Gatemen their first hit of the ball game.
Now batting, the catcher from Seton Hall University, number 24.
And crazy how long it took to come for, them, even though we're in the 6th inning. It's been a long game so far, and give credit to Smith for getting to this point. Now Afton coming in, but really just a broken bat single there from Hussey. The Bourne pitching staff has had their number once again.
Now Yadi Hernandez comes up to bat. Flew out to center and then flew out to right field where Kendall Diggs made that amazing catch that Cam and I talked about in this inning. Afton delivers a first pitch strike to him. It's 0-1. And if there was going to be someone in this Wareham order to get that first hit, Grant Hussey, probably one of those top choices. The 0-1 popped out of play. It's 0-2. Currently leads the team in RBIs with 23.
And he's been great overall, but it's kind of what the Gatemen have lost.
Nick McLean being one of those notables as well.
4 more guys that have played a few games towards the top of that list in batting average.
The 0-2. Hard hit ground ball towards Josh Kuroda. Grauer at second. Gobbles it up. Flips to first to end the inning. So Hussey delivers Wareham's first hit. They put runners on the corners, but can't bring anyone home here as we enter into the bottom of the 6th. It's a 7-0 Bravos lead over the Gatemen here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
designated hitter from Liberty University. Number
Welcome back to
21,
Dorn Park.
Brandon
Tonight's broadcast
Foster.
brought to you by Convention Data Services, or CDS, a technology company based in Bourne and proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with their website on cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn. New pitcher on the mound for the Gatemen, James Chatfield out of Yale, but as their broadcasters were telling us pregame, goes by Jimmy, making his first appearance this summer, 0-1. Back towards the foot of Foster, and he'll pick it up and stay alive with 1-1 count. Foster, his second at-bat here, struck out swinging back to begin the fifth, and now he's back up to begin the sixth. The 1-1, fastball in the inside corner, makes it 1-2. The 1-2, down in the dirt, 2-2. Concludes the night for Bryson Schaefer. Schaefer went 2 2/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. At the 2-2 outside. Full count now to Foster. Schaefer struck out 4 and walked just 1. An up and down start for the lefty out of Coastal Carolina. 3-1, or the 3-2, excuse me, ripped down the left field line by Foster, but it is foul, and will go again.
And we've seen Foster in his last 2 games hit a few really hard hit balls, foul that one, and then one against Falmouth that was way into the trees, foul and left.
3-2, jammed inside. Foster catches a piece, keeps the count where it is. Chatfield this past spring with Yale went 1-2 in 8 games, 2 of them being starts, with an even 9 ERA. Payoff pitch, Foster drives us in the air, right center field. Charging in is Sherrod, and he's able to make the catch for the first out. There's one gone in the bottom of the 6th. Brings up Caden Bodine.
Now batting. the
Also
catcher
for
from
Chatfield,
Coastal
he
Carolina, number
played
45,
both ways
Caden Bodine.
for Yale as a batter this season. Batted .275, 5 home runs and 30 runs batted in 40 games, 142 at-bats. First pitch to Bodine, upstairs from the right-hander, 1-0. Also outside, 2-0. High again, 3-0 now to Bodine. A sac fly for him in the first, a walk back in the third, and doubled and scored in the 5th. Coming off a 1-for-3 performance at the All-Star game. Takes the 3-0 outside. It's a 4-pitch, 1-out walk for Caden Bodine. He'll head on down to first. Bourne with a 7-0 lead over Wareham here in game 1 of 2. Monday night doubleheader to open up the stretch of 9 games till the end of the regular season. Brings up Kendall Diggs. He's 0 for 3, does have an RBI. First pitch breaking ball outside, 1-0. Has that nice defensive play that Cam and I had talked about. High again here from Chatfield, 2-0.
And it's tough here for the Gatemen, just kind of looking for a quick inning and really hoping for strikes from Chatfield from the bullpen. Tough so far.
2-0. Catches his own, 2-1.
You wonder also if Bodine will be moving here. It's a big lead.
2-1. Top of the zone to Diggs, 2-2.
Sportsmanship thing definitely for, Bourne here, understanding that lead and 1 out in the inning. Probably not going to do anything too crazy on the base paths.
2-2, buzzes the tower of Diggs. He leans out of the way. The count runs full with 1 gone. Brady Afton will be out for the 7th. Bourne well within command here. They've been well in command, and it began with that start from Tristan Smith. Didn't allow a hit. First hit for the Gatemen came back in the 6th. The 3-2 popped up. Shallow right center field, just taking a few steps back to the outfield grass is Caulfield. He'll make the catch for the 2nd out.
And at first, Caulfield was confused probably where the ball even was. Battling maybe a little bit of sun overhead of me and Matt that's still shining in, but now shading away a little bit as well.
First pitch to Josh Kuroda-Grauer. A fastball zips upstairs, 1-0. For Chatfield, we talked about his hitting with Yale, but last summer with the Mystic Schooners in the NECBL, he was also a pitcher, held a 0.84 ERA through 6 games, 2 starts, 1-0 record. Batted a little bit for them, but struggled mightily, going 3 for 34. 2-0. Fastball down the gut, 2-1 to Kuroda-Grauer. And for Josh, still trying to find his way with his bat. But he's found ways on base every time today. A walk and a hit by pitch, 2-1, slices it out of play, and it's 2-2. Reached on error in his first at-bat, but he's came around to score twice. So while his bat hasn't gotten going, Josh will be happy that he's just found ways to extend this Bourne lead. 2-2. Well, chin music to JKG, and the count runs full. Bodine's going on the 3-2. Ground ball right side. Ranging over his Caulfield. He slides to a knee to make the stop. Fires to first, and it's in time for the 3rd and final out here in the bottom of the 6th. Bourne looking to close it out as we head to the top of the 7th. 3 outs away from taking game 1 and well within command. A 7-0 Bourne lead over Wareham on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
All right, fans.
Back at Dorn Park and into the top of the 7th. Bourne looking for the final 3 outs to take game 1
Now batting,
of this
the left fielder
doubleheader
from
over
Ohio State
Wareham.
University, number 16,
Brady Afton out to the mound,
Stevenson.
and he'll face 7, 8, and 9 in this Wareham order, beginning with Josh Stevenson, Corey Morton, and J.C. Cologne. Are the 3 he'll get through. First pitch to lefty and Stevenson, fouled straight back, and it's 0-1. For Stevenson, he struck out swinging his first time up in the 2nd, and then the 5th had an awkward 5-3 ground out where he went around and got caught on the hands and on the bat. Ball went into play, and knew Contrades threw him out as Stevenson was trying to make sure he didn't break anything in his hand area. The 0-1 off speed's low, 1-1. One from Afton. Skips in front of home plate, gets the backstop, and it's 2-1.
And we talked about it pregame, Matt, and what a win could do here for Bourne. But you can't really, ride high. You get back in the win column. Interesting about a doubleheader. 30 minutes between these 2 games. They're right back at it, and it's as important to win the next instead of just splitting here tonight.
Two one. Fastball upstairs, 3-1. Swing and a miss from Stevenson. Count runs full. Nobody out here. First man up here in the top of the 7th. No shift on against Stevenson. Infield at standard depth with Krodegrauer and Vastine have their heels on the edge of the outfield grass. Peterson camped out in straightaway center field. Diggs in right, Giuffreda in left. Contrades about 3-4 steps off the third base line. Same for Michelle on first. The 3-2, Stevenson pops it up. And he'll sail straight back out of play over top the press box. Count stays full.
And that crowd there, a lot more packed, as Matt mentioned.
Fans starting to file in down the first base side. 3-2, skips in. Stevenson works a leadoff walk here in the top of the 7th. Saw a good amount of fans on the third base line.
Now batting, the designated
early
hitter
on
from
today.
University of Connecticut, number 53.
But now
Corey
fans starting
Morton.
to pile in everywhere. Here's Corey Morton. He's 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts for him. Still settling into his summer. Takes the first pitch strike on the outside corner. Couple of college teammates going at it. The 0-1. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Says the first base umpire. And Mark Piantadosi counts at 0-2. Pitch just a touch outside. And it's 1-2. After him trying to get the better of his Husky teammate, who batted .286 this past spring. The 1-2. Morton pops it up, out of play. We'll go again, another 1-2. Both teams so far in this first game have done a nice job of working long at-bats. Stevenson leads off first. He's 2 for 5 with stolen bases this summer. 1-2 outside. Count goes to 2-2.
And if we're after him here, you're looking just to be quick right now, keep the ball low, and get back in that strike zone. You're facing the bottom 2 hitters in this Wareham order.
2-2. Outside, count runs full to Morton. After trying to find that spot on the outside half, he had a similar spot that was called for a strike. The 3-2. Ground ball, third base side. It will go foul. Time called as Pete Ciuffreda over and left had to pick up that foul ball, toss it to a fan. Another payoff pitch. Morton pops it up. This will stay on the infield. Left side, Vastine creeping in towards the infield grass from short. He'll make the catch, and there's one gone in the 7th.
Nice first out there for Afton. Long at bat, working back even after the foul ball, throwing that extra pitch and staying in the zone. 2 more right here for the Bravos.
Now batting, the shortstop from the University of Missouri, number 32,
brings up J.C. Cologne. He's the only Gatemen player that's gotten on base twice today. First pitch, off-speed low for ball 1. Worked a walk his last time up in the 5th, and in the 3rd, well, it was not your conventional way to get on. A drop third strike that Cologne was able to get out ahead of the throw from Bodine. 1-0. Cologne fouls it straight back, and it's 1-1. Righty on righty here against Cologne. The 1-1. Fastball upstairs, 2-1. Grota Grauer over at second. Couple of steps to his right, shading up the middle. Vastine over at short in his standard position here in case of a double play. Peterson a few steps towards his right, out in center field. 2-1, ground ball left side, Vastine. Can't pick it up on the backhand. It sneaks under his glove, out into left field. It's a one-out base hit for J.C. Cologne. Puts runners on first and second as the top of the order comes back up.
And the Gatemen not going away, just putting a few hits together and some longer at-bats here.
From the University of South Florida, number 6.
Right past the glove of Vastine at short, but if you're after him here, you still got that double play set and steady for you. And we're just looking to pitch to contact here against Bozer.
Bozer's 0 for 2, walked his first time up back in the 1st, and there's Cologne taking his lead. He's not being held on to by Michelle, so he'll be quite comfortable over at first. First pitch, Bozer drives and turns and drives it rather down the left field line. He'll hook it foul, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
And definitely a longer 7-inning game.
I was just about to say that.
I was thinking about if this was 9.
Something about these two teams getting together. It doesn't matter the score. It's been a long handful of games when these two face off. The 1-1. Fastball is upstairs, 2-1. Last meeting between these two at Spillane Field was a 9-inning game that went 3 hours and 45 minutes. 9-8 win for the Gatemen. Two-1. Fastball is upstairs above the letters. 3-1 here to Bozer. A 3-1. High and tight to Bozer. He tosses his bat. He'll head on down to first. on a free pass. Loads the bases here with just one out in the top of the 7th. Scott Landers coming out of the dugout. We'll talk with Afton on the mound.
Now batting, the second baseman from
A
the
walk
University
to
of Arizona,
Stevenson.
number 20,
Pop out of
Aaron
Morton.
Caulfield.
And then a single by Kelowna. Now the walk from Bozer has the bases loaded here for the Gatemen. A 7-0 Bourne lead. They've been in command since the jump. And Afton trying to finish with what Tristan Smith started here in game 1 of the doubleheader.
And Landers probably just telling him right now, look, just command in the strike zone here. Let your defense work. Let's not keep giving the free passes and give the Gatemen a chance. You have that one out. Force at any bag right now for the Braves. A strong chance to turn into a ground ball.
Aaron Caulfield is up to bat here. He was the first person to face Brady Afton in the 6th. Flew out to right field. Bases juiced, one out here, top of the 7th. First pitch to Caulfield. Leaning's out of the way on the high fastball. It's 1-0. A 1-0. Swing and a miss from Caulfield, 1-1. A 1-1. Popped up out of play, 1-2.
And a lot you'll see from Afton here, even though this is a 7-0 game and it's a big lead for him to come into the game, he's being put in a lot of tough spots that he's put himself in these counts and has to just work back right here. He's used to doing this.
The 1-2. Caulfield fouls it back once again. Count stays where it is. And Brady, no matter the situation, the lead, the deficit, always comes in with the same demeanor. He wants to throw strikes, get strikeouts, wants to give his team a chance to win. Here's the 1-2. Bounces in, picked by Bodine. Count evened at 2-2, runners stay where they are.
And Landers even has that decision right now, even though where it is on the scoreboard, that, how much longer do you really throw after him, pitch count-wise, just not being able to find that zone? Do you go to that bullpen here and think about just adding that third pitcher?
Two. Inside, full count. And it's Matthew Taubensee that's up in the Bourne bullpen in left field.
And if Taubensee comes in, obviously, same with Afton, but his pitch count very high, can come in and pitch in game 2.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Huge second out for Brady Afton, his second punch out as well. And there's two-way. Bourne just needing one more to pick up the game 1 win.
And that pitch was going to decide how Afton finishes this game. Will he go to that last batter? I think if he maybe walks the batter there in Caulfield, might have been it for the righty.
Michael Brooks now comes up. He walked against Afton in the 6th. Prior to that, he was 0 for 2. First pitch, caught him on the elbow, and he'll head on down to first on a hit by pitch. Coming into the score will be Josh Stevenson, and Wareham avoids the shutout, puts 1 on the board.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of South Carolina Upstate, number 4.
There's a tough miss
Sherrod.
There for Afton. And does not matter, 6-run lead, just completely drain out that and just try to finish off this outing out of the bullpen on a high note. And a quick at-bat here against Sherrod.
First pitch, chopped foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Swing and a miss from Sherrod. After him ahead, 0-2, looking for one more strike. Got Sherrod to go down on strikes back in the 6th. The 0-2. Fastball inside, just a touch off the plate, 1-2. One, two. Sherrod fouls it back. We'll go again. Another 1-2 count. Sherrod's 0 for 3 coming into this at-bat. Bourne looking to start that final push of the regular season off on a high note. Take game 1 of 2 on this Monday night. Slow clap starting to build. A 1-2. Ground ball, third base side. Contrades fields, fires on to second. Kuroda Grauer is there, and that will end it. Bourne takes game 1, 7-1 over the Gatemen. Now the offense started early. Tristan Smith, an outstanding 5-inning, no-hit performance here tonight for the Bravos, and they take game 1, 7-1. Matt Scalzo, Cam Manna here, and we'll keep it brief here. We got game 2 coming up soon in about 30 minutes or so. But Cam, huge start here for Bourne in their final push of the regular season. They take game 1. What clicked and how did they carry that forward heading into game 2?
You start with starting pitching. Tristan Smith, another stellar start, and exciting for him if, this may be his last outing in the regular season. Might get one more later on as, there's right around 8 games left. But to see his outing and how perfect he's been in that starting rotation towards the playoffs, that's going to be a big confidence boost. But for Bourne and their offense as a whole, it's striking first in baseball games with good starting pitching. That's been their formula to winning games, stealing bases and getting off early, and that's what they did here against the Gatemen.
We'll see what they got on tap for game 2. Gabe Driscoll will be on the mound. That will start in about 30 minutes or so. We'll keep you updated. But thank you for everyone that tuned in for game 1. We'll be, Cam and I, back on the call for game 2. Special thanks to our camera operators, Jeremy Gay, Hazel Hallis, our producer, Ryan Bridges, Mojo Hill, and Allie Navarrete for Before the Bravos, and Allie for joining me on the broadcast. We'll be back for game 2. Bourne takes game 1, 7-1 over Wareham.